we got one more here, and this is just a story of sad to hilarious at this point.
Oh, I love these. Oh, give me this.
Because Mad Catz has had a history as a company that has gone from making horrible, shitty ass garbage peripherals back in the day, but
To making
affordable.
high-end quality merchandise.
Sure did. Affordable but garbage peripherals in the N64 era, eventually relaunching and becoming the fight stick company that was making what people needed to play arcade stick, what people needed as arcade sticks for the new era of fighting games, circa 2009. Markman was a part of the team, was helping them with all of that stuff, and they released the TE, they released the TE2. You know, they're putting out some other stuff, and yeah, like for a while, the Mad Catz TE Tournament Edition fight stick was the hallmark of just a solid ass, reliable arcade stick you can buy. Probably find one at your local GameStop, and it'll do good for what you need. Plus, you can open up and mod the buttons, parts if you need to replace anything that doesn't work, and you know, it was solid and worth the purchase in that time. Then he left the company, and then they started kind of just doing their own thing, and you know, focusing on other stuff, whatever. The quality of which is up in the air. But after years away from the game, it seems that they have decided to enter into the fight stick market once again. My understanding is that Markman was working on a TE3 design prototype for them before he left, and then eventually they just threw that away and didn't go with it. Of course, he went on to work with like various other stick makers and do some good shit. They have as of CES, which is was just finished or just happened, they announced a bunch of new peripherals, including headphones, controllers, mice, etc., and a return to the arcade stick with the TE3. The TE3 that we got to take a look at is a design that not a lot of people are thinking too highly of. It's got a tiger on it and the scratches, and it's a thing. But yeah, the aesthetics are. I prefer.
Why is it so long at the top and the bottom?
Yeah, it's not exactly a shape that I like.
It's square.
I've seen sticks with this type of shape, and it's not great. But that's not a big deal. Whatever. Usually you can, especially like change out artwork and do things, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The other details that come out about this arcade stick are that it's going to be multi-platform, so you can use it on Xbox and PS4 and PS5 and PC. And it's like, oh,
that's useful. That's good.
But that's usually not something that you can get a licensed peripheral to do, because Kanba just kind of does it because those come out of China and Kanba doesn't really care. They just
put all the guts in there. They just do it.
And then, like, you can't really stop them is what Kanba's version of doing things are. So they've made dual modded sticks or whatever. But Mad Catz is not going to be able to get away with that. So instead, they are making it the only way you can, which is you're not allowed to be an official licensed peripheral. Thus, you must plug in a controller as a dongle for the stick you want to use and keep that controller plugged in the entire time you're using the stick in order to have pass-through compatibility with the console.
PS5 only has 2 USB cables.
Yeah, figure it out, buddy.
This thing's totally worthless.
It's completely like, okay. So there's a stick known as a Mayflash. It's $40 and it works the exact same way. It works on any console, but you have to plug a stick in order to get it to pass through, right? Cool. Piece of shit, but it's $40 fucking dollars. And
that's absurd.
So you get what you pay for, plus if you at least go and buy some buttons and some replacement parts, you can put in some good parts and get a decent stick out of it at the very minimum if you're going for a low end. You're lowballing. This thing requires a fucking controller dongle for what they're calling overbridge compatibility. And on top of that, it also supports macro features, which allows you to program macros onto stick buttons, which is expressly banned from any tournament ever, anywhere on planet Earth, because it's cheating to have a macro input on a set. You could program a combo onto a button. That's not allowed. You can't do that.
I wish the audio listeners could see me just stare off in space.
It's the 1,000-yard stare, because
disbelief.
Like, you want to talk about not having a single person at the company that knows who they're making the product for and why.
How did they not pick one up in all these
years? Not one!
Was it just Markman?
Markman came and Markman left, and they didn't know what the fuck to do. It seems.
It is literally a countdown until, like, tournaments start banning the stick outright.
So, yeah. It's a matter of tournament edition, except you're not allowed to play it at tournaments edition, because all macros are not allowed, period. You know, like, there's people that are having discussions about like hitboxes that allow you to hold a left and a right input, like I think like a Afrobox, I think there was at one point, and it's like that is a contentious argument to see whether or not this type of stick is allowed, because you have to be very precise that, like, you can't allow inputs that cheat or assisted input, you know? And in this case, it's like, yeah, if you can program a full sequence to do something like a fucking taunt jet upper perfect every time, that shit's not okay. So anyway, it's just, you've never seen a stick miss the mark harder. Not just because of the macro inclusion, but because you have to have a controller plugged in, sitting on the table the entire time, or sitting in your lap the entire time. And, like, there's no version of this that appeals to, someone who actually plays these games and, or is a part of this community. Like, what is your audience here? You know?
People who want to cheat in online tournaments.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's the audience.
Unbelievable, hilarious. And it's like, I know the thought is probably like, it's going to be too expensive to license out one for Xbox and another product SKU for PlayStation. Just do it because we're not committing completely to re-entering the stick market. But now you have this bullshit solution instead, which makes no sense. Like, at this point, like, if you're going to re-enter, you bite the bullet and choose to make proportional product for the amount of people buying on that console. Most people with an Xbox that want a stick there's gonna be one to God knows how many for PlayStation. Like, there's so much there's no fighting game players really using Xbox for anything, so you're not gonna need to push a lot of those products, you know. But if you wanted to go down that road, like, sure, you can have a reduced production rate, but this app dongle solution is ridiculous. But yeah, the 2
must make Markman feel really good to see just how important he actually was.
So he's being on Twitter. It's funny because he's being professional, but just like emojis tell the story.
Yeah,
you know.
Wow, the instant I left, huh? Wow. Ooh, I wonder why that is.
Why even re-enter the market? Like, you've left the stick game behind you. You don't have anybody there to tell you what's what. And now we get to see that in real time. It's fucking embarrassing. Anyway, get yourself a Kanba. That's a good stick. For shame. You know. And we kind of get to see the people watch as Mad Catz returns to the depths from whence it came. You know.
Just wait till these don't sell very well, and then they start putting out more and more products where they just cut a little bit of corners here. Just a little corner there. Just a little corner here. Just a little corner over there.
Or just lean into it and call it the cheat stick.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
Embrace it and let people know that, like, no, we're making this for those who want the big cheats.
Do it.
And we have it pre-programmed with all the one-frame links and all the best combos for your character. Just install them right here.